Hello and welcome to Talking Comics. This is Ellie Man. I know I've been away for a long time, but I am back for this one-time offer of doing my ultimate graphic novel collections. And here we'll start with Lock and Key. Lock and Key I was given in I bought all the 5 books for Lock and Key, and then I bought the 6th book with this outer case, beautiful outer case with the door on the front. Looks absolutely fantastic. And we've got the 52 Omnibus, which is written by Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, and Mark Waid. Pretty good, but it's a huge book. Same goes for Infinite Crisis Omnibus, absolutely massive book. We head off into Crisis on Infinite Earths, a lot of the word crisis and a lot of infinite going on. We've got the DC 1 Million graphic novel by Grant Morrison. New 52 Villains Omnibus. We've got the Earth 2 books, which are really good. You should check that out. We've got some team up. We've got Marvel versus DC. We've got some Justice League of America. And then we have the Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. My Kingdom Come is signed. It's got this beautiful Superman emboss on it, and it's being signed, and it looks fantastic. The artwork inside is on another level. We'll head over into the Planetary Omnibus. The Planetary Omnibus is really, really cool, written by Warren Ellis. Then we've got the Sandman books, Neil Gaiman, classic, and they've got this beautiful red, black painted pages, which I really, really like. Books of Magic and Transmet next, and then you've got the Creature hardcovers. I'm missing 4 and 5. 5's coming soon, 4 is actually really hard to get hold of. Then we've got the American Vampire books. Scott Snyder and Stephen King actually was writing a story on the first book. I've only read the beginning of this saga, but it's really been quite amazing so far. DMZ, Brian Wood. There's only 1 book in the deluxe art edition, so I've only read 1 book, but I know it's a great run. 100 Bullets by Brian Azzarello, and then Why the Last Man, which I've read the entire run of by Brian K. Vaughan. Starts off brilliantly, gets slightly weaker towards the end, but really still a very good run. The Chew Omnibus by John Layman, and it's fantastic, and I recommend it to all. Morning Glories, which is kind of a weird book. It's some kind of mix between Battle Royale and some kind of fantasy, science fiction weirdness. Invincible, I've got the Ultimate Collection, volumes 1 to 8, absolutely fantastic. Just as good as The Walking Dead, and it's Rob Kirkman, especially, you should check it out. We head down into the Captain America stuff. I've got the Stan Lee run, and I've got Ed Brubaker just before the death. I've got the Hickman Fantastic Four run, then Secret Warriors, the Hickman Secret Warriors, which is okay, it's a spy story. Marvel Zombies, which I absolutely love, but for some reason the Army of Darkness isn't in that omnibus. Acts of Vengeance, great crossover. We're heading over into our crossovers, Marvel crossovers now. Evolutionary War, and then we've got the Avengers Forever, and the Bendis run on the Avengers, which is brilliant. And then we've got the new Marvel Now Hickman run. Secret Wars and Secret Wars 2, Avengers Disassembled, pretty good, strong, but not as good as the ones coming up. House of M was amazing. Civil War, unbelievable, and Secret Invasion, just the peak for me. Civil War, I'm actually missing the Spider-Man book. Heading over into Siege, it was not particularly great. Dark Avengers was actually really, really good. Fear itself was actually so bad that it didn't even get an oversized hardcover. Avengers vs. X-Men and the Companion, absolutely brilliant. I've got the Age of Ultron and Infinity books. I haven't actually read those yet. I'm kind of waiting for the Age of Ultron movie to come out from the Avengers, and I'm going to read it just before it comes out. We can now head over to the X-Men. Wolverine book, Mark Miller's Wolverine, got Old Man Logan in it, absolutely awesome. The Wolverine run, which has my favourite one in there, Weapon X by Barry Windham Smith. X-Static, which I haven't actually read yet, it's meant to be brilliant. All new X-Men stuff by Brian Michael Bendis, which was really, really awesome. You've got the lead up to that, of course. You've got Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon, the New X-Men, Grant Morrison, Age of Apocalypse, and Onslaught Sagas. All the Chris Claremont stuff in the Omnibuy. Days of Future Past, the Dark Phoenix Saga, and Uncanny X-Men. Then we head over into the Daredevil books. I have the oversized Mark Waid book. I'm actually missing the first one, although I've owned it twice already. It's some weird. It's just a weird mess up that's happened there, and I've got another one to order and I'm getting it soon. You've got the Ed Brubaker Omnibuy, which is really, really good. And then the even better Brian Michael Bendis Daredevil run, which is one of my favourites. The beginning, actually, the first volume of this oversized hardcover was actually Kevin Smith, and I wasn't a massive fan of that Kevin Smith run. I felt it was overwritten. You've got the Daredevil Grey, which is called Fall from Grace, this book, and I really think people should read it. It's a really, really good Daredevil run that most people don't know about. And then you've got the Daredevil Frank Miller stuff, which obviously is just absolutely classic. And these are my two favourite Omnibuy. They're beautiful. If you look at the back and the front, they've got fantastic embossed parts of the original covers. Especially the companion book, which has my favourite Daredevil stories and one of my favourite comic book stories of all time, called Born Again. If you haven't read that, that is a must read. Heading off into Spider-Man, we've got the Mark Miller run, some family ties. So these are all kind of like out of continuity books. You've got the Frank Miller run and Spider-Man Blue, and then we head into the continuity books, which the Stan Lee 1 and 2, then Todd McFarlane run, and again in my top 5 graphic novels of all time, we've got the Kraven's Last Hunt. And then we go into the Clone Saga and the Ben Reilly Saga, which is basically where everyone jumped off reading Spider-Man. The next chapter, which no one read, Joe Michael Straczynski did probably one of the best runs of Spider-Man ever. And then, of course, what had happened with One More Day. It felt very disjointed for quite a while until they settled on Dan Slott being the main writer. And so until you actually get to the Gauntlet, you don't really feel like there's a proper continuity for Spider-Man. And I suppose you don't really feel that there is a proper start Spider-Man again until Matters of Life and Death and Big Time. That's when Spider Island led up to Spider Island and then into the Superior Spider-Man, which really made a big difference. Then we're going to head over into our Batman books, starting with this Joker book, which is awesome, and the Frank Miller one, which has got Batman Year One, Wanted, Santa Claus, Dead or Alive, and The Dark Knight Returns all in one beautiful book, again with a silver outlay on the pages, which I absolutely love. Then we go into probably Alan Moore's best written story ever. That's right, I said best, better than Watchmen, is The Killing Joke. And now my favourite Batman story of all time, Nightfall. And actually those two stories are my favourite two stories of all time, especially the first Nightfall book. Heading over into Joker and the Brian Azzarello run. We've got Azzarello did Joker and Batman Deathblow, but they're good, but it's the artwork that makes them special. Maggio's artwork is just unbelievable. Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison, which is pretty good. We're heading into my Grant Morrison Batman. We've got Batman Reborn, Batman vs Robin, Batman and Robin Must Die. Pretty good. Batman, The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul is probably my favourite Morrison story. It's got Dini in there as well. Then we've got Batman Inc. and Batman Earth 1, which again, Batman Earth 1 is really good. Jeff Johns has written it a little bit rushed, but Gary Frank's artwork is worth every penny of the book. You've got my third favourite Batman story, or third favourite run of all time on Batman, which is Scott Snyder's run. Absolutely fantastic. If you're not reading it at the moment, you really should. Then we go into my Jeff Johns run on the Flash, which is the Omnibuys, starting with Rebirth, straight into the 3 Omnibuys, and then you've got the Brightest Day Flash, Road to Flashpoint, and then Flashpoint. I've got the new 52 Flash, but I haven't actually read it yet, so I don't know if that's any good. The Death and Return of Superman Omnibuy, unbelievably good. I love this story, especially where Superman gets beaten the hell out by Doomsday. The rest you can take it or leave it, because it's a lot of moaning and complaining that that Superman is dead. So yeah, that's up to you. But yeah, the Death and Return of Superman, absolutely one of my favourites. Superman stories. And then my favourite Superman story, which is Superman Red Sun. Brilliant. Superman for Tomorrow, very good. Legion of Superheroes is awesome. Again, Derek Frank with the artwork, and the inside cover even is nice for DC. That never happens, but yeah, in this one it does. And then you've got the Superman Secret Origin, Grounded, and Superman Earth 1. Those JMS books again, Joe Michael Straczynski, really, really, really good. Hell on Earth is again a new story. I haven't actually read it yet. Lobo, it's a cool Lobo story. Hawkman from Jeff Johns. We go into my 2 favourite runs for DC, which are Animal Man and Swamp Thing, while Jeff Lemire and Scott Snyder were on. They were unbelievable. If you haven't read those, you should definitely check them out. Of course, I've got the Alan Moore Swamp Thing there, and obviously the Grant Morrison Omnibus. Then we go into Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman and Jeff Johns' Aquaman, also very, very good, and then some extra DC books. Heading over into the bottom shelf, we have Lucifer, written by Mike Carey, which is very cool. Mark Waid wrote Irredeemable and Incorruptible. I'm heading over onto Mouse, one of the greatest graphic novels of all time, and my manga section, which is too small, and I know it is, and I need to get loads more manga, but haven't had a chance to do it yet. But what I've got is pretty awesome. I've got the Akira books, the 6 Akira books, and I've also got the new Dragon Ball Z book, which has been coloured and is absolutely amazing. I go into Elephant Man, which is pretty cool. I've only read the first one, but it's been pretty good so far. I'm looking forward to reading the other 3 that I've got. I know there's a 0-0 book which I don't have, and also I'm not too sure if there's anything that comes up in the 4. The Walking Dead, 20 volumes, I'm up to date on that. I love that series. I love The Walking Dead. I pretty much love everything that Robert Kirkman writes when it comes to The Walking Dead and Invincible. Not a massive fan of some of the other stuff he's done, but these 2 are unbelievable. I especially like the fact that The Walking Dead covers actually turn out to connect all together to turn into one huge zombie crowd that looks like they're going to take you over. I really love that. It's pretty cool. You've got Halcyon, which I think is one of the best graphic novels I've read that people haven't read. If you haven't had a chance to read it, it's really awesome. And Dark Enemies, The Boys, which I absolutely love. As you can see, The Boys is signed by Garth Ennis. The most important thing which I haven't spoken about is pretty much Jeff Lemire's Underwater World, which is awesome. Finally, heading over into the Cosmic section, I have Infinity Gauntlet, which is the greatest cosmic story I've ever read. I think there's an omnibus coming out. I'm definitely going to buy that. It's absolutely fantastic. Annihilation, which is my second favourite cosmic saga that's ever happened, and I think an omnibus is coming out for that, and I will be getting that as well. And then Nova, I love Nova. Nova is unbelievable. If you haven't read Nova, read it. Guardians of the Galaxy, read it. Both of those, unbelievable. I absolutely love them. Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning did a fantastic job on the rest of the Cosmic Saga, War of Kings, Realm of Kings, and Thanos Imperative. On next shelf, we've got Life and Death of Captain Marvel, The Mighty Thor, Walt Simonson's run, and we've got Straczynski Thor and Blood and Thunder, which is the crossover with Silver Surfer. I love my Silver Surfer Omnibuy. Again, it's one of my favourite Omnibuy. I actually think it's quite hard to get hold of. Then we've got Incredible Hulk Omnibuy, Stan Lee's one, and my two favourite stories from Hulk, World War Hulk and Planet Hulk, and the Indestructible Hulk there by Mark Waid. Heading down, we've got Brian Michael Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man. I've got the entire run going all the way up to the final volume now, and Spider-Man. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Some of those are quite hard to get hold of. Heading down into my Green Lantern run, I've got the 2 Green Lantern Omnibuy that came out. And basically the entire Jeff Johns run, everything going from Blackest Night to Brightest Day, War of the Green Lanterns, and then into the New 52, with the last book being The End. Going down to the next shelf, we've got the Sweet Tooth, which is my favourite run on this shelf. It's a Vertigo shelf mostly. And Hellblazer, which I've got a gap there because I've still got the rest of the Hellblazer saga to pick up. Deadpool, the Way run is absolutely hilarious. If you can switch your brain off for a few hours or whatever and read that, it's probably worthwhile. But you know that it's stupid. I've got the Ultimate Galactus graphic novels there, some kick-ass. I've got one of my favourite books that I've read on a small story, which was Do More, totally underrated, really well written. And as much as I hate Fear itself and what Matt Fraction did on that, I absolutely love Hawkeye and what he did there. And of course, to finish it all off, Marvel's Busiek and Alex Ross did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for listening to my collection. I hope you survived. It was a long haul, but you got there in the end. If you want me to do a review on anything, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers.